So kind of bringing us to human design, because you
Hmm.
talked about, that we want deliverables and we want it fast. And I know
Yeah,
you are a lover of human design, which is a
I
tool to
am.
help us get to know ourselves. And actually there are two other speakers in this summit who talked a little bit about human design as well. So
Mm,
no need to go into the details of like the
hmm.
different types. Although
Beautiful.
both spoke just briefly, so we don't have anything in depth with either.
Okay.
But can you just tell us a little bit about your experience with how you feel that human design can be a great tool for one to get to know themselves better?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just a quick snippet of my personal journey. I discovered human design in, I think, 2021. So it's still relatively new in my life, but so many big shifts have happened. It feels like it's like been my friend this whole time. It came into my life in a time where I was going through a major trans life transition and was seeking clarity on like how to make sense of some pain. Honestly, like I had pain at the same time that I had this huge desire to make something good, and that contrast was really challenging me. Human design reading got suggested to me, and I was like, oh, so much of my life makes sense now. Now, I want to honor that, like, I'm the person that would happen to. Like, I love getting the reflections from outside of me because I tend to personalize a lot of stuff. And so it's psychologically very helpful for me to be like, wait a minute, just breathe. Like, you didn't do all that. You didn't make this mess, so to speak. So in a similar way, I find it very helpful for clients to sort of get unstuck from some of those patterns that they might be in. So, for instance, I might have clients who say to me, I have a really hard time expressing myself. I feel like I get like caught up or stuck when I'm talking to people, and then I feel dumb, or I just agree with them, and then I'm down the road and I've agreed to something that I don't actually want to do, and I don't know how to like edit or pivot or change my answer. So human design map in my brain, I'm like, oh, you probably have an undefined throat. And so around certain people, it's difficult for you to like manifest the thought. Or perhaps you even have an open head or open ajna. And so you're really receptive to other people's ideas. And if they're pressuring you to answer fast, you haven't sorted through what's yours and what's not yours. So, in that way, I guess another way to phrase it is human design helps me help my clients depathologize their normal behaviors and patterns, right? We're not here to pathologize and put a label. We're here to help you better understand what's going on for you and like make magic out of your strengths and your powers. The things that you thought made you weird are actually what make you wonderful.
Yeah, I love that. So we've talked a little bit about human design, but let's see. I would just love for you to, I don't really know exactly what I'm getting at, but something that would be helpful for the audience when it comes to understanding their human design and
Hmm.
how they can really work with that to understand themselves better. I know it's
Absolutely.
so deep. There's so many
I can
different
offer
things,
it.
but
No
yeah,
stress.
yeah.
Because A, love simplicity. B, super grateful to the people I first encountered who taught me about human design and taught me that it gets to be simple and easy. You can get way into the mechanics, as they say. My partner lovingly says that astrology is algebra. Some people find algebra challenging, yeah? And then human design is calculus. And it's just like, so that's my first piece of advice. Don't get caught in the weeds. There are several simple bits that will help you make good on your life and living into that authenticity day to day. So the first bit is your authority, right? How are you designed to make decisions and know that they're right for you? So that's one of the ways that I understand authority, right? Is that this is what's going to help me like move through the choice and the decisioning and then land. Now, anyone who knows human design can probably figure out that the way I phrase that, I'm an emotional authority, right? I have to move through the things and then they land. I need sleeps to make decisions. Um, which is just to say that knowing that about ourselves, I think can also, again, help take away all the negative beliefs or stigmas that we might have about, like, I don't move fast enough. right? The world wants so much speed that I just think for the vast majority of us, we're not actually designed to move that way, right? Um, so authority, knowing how you move through the decisions, which also helps you then like rely on that part of your decision making process. For instance, another client who has a mental authority or soundboarding authority, this one has a lot of names, but the idea is they process and get to know their answer by bouncing the idea off of other people. But they arrive to me saying, I feel so bad and weird that I have to like, I always feel like I have to talk it out with other people. Nope, you're designed to. Right? Like, no, that's actually a beautiful, lovely part of how you're using your own wisdom, your own strengths. The other piece I would say is getting to know your signature and not self. So, signature being like, this is how I know it's for me. This is how I know it's good. So, as an example, for generators and manifesting generators, they all have the same signature, which is satisfaction, right? The thing that goes, yes, like just that, like, hell yeah, that felt so good. And then the compliment is the not self. So, an example of what it means to move into not self, you're constantly not listening to your authority, you're overcommitting, you're just like picking up worries that aren't yours, routinely moving away from satisfaction will lead you towards the not self or frustration, again, for generator types, manifesting generators. Um, and so getting to know what that feels like for you can be really key. Asking yourself some choice questions of like, when was the last time that I felt really enlivened by something, that I was really satisfied and happy with the decision? Which honestly, I think I know I'm using my own generator language for that, but even folks with different signatures could ask that question, right? So, um, can I pull one off the top of my head? Can you help me with one? A different
Peace.
signature?
Peace is
Yeah.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, when was the last time that like I felt that big sigh that set right? I'm just imagining what peace could feel like, but kind of getting to know those flavors of it. In my head, what does peace feel like? In my shoulders, what does peace feel like? In my chest, in my belly, in my legs, in my hands. Um, because then you get to recognize it more easily. And then you get to trust as you work through your experiment, right? That like, oh, this is actually real. The other thing I would say is, again, from a clinical standpoint, something that helps with the non pathologizing piece that is so important in my work is when we can catch, oh, I've moved towards not self. It's not bad. It's not a judgment. It just is. It's like, oh, that's information, right? I didn't make a mistake. I got information. And now I get to use this information. The other thing that I think can be really helpful is even like as you learn about your design, just reading from the other descriptors, right? So authorities are great. Kind of overarching thing to look at your profile lines. So personally, I'm a 4/6. So I might read about like, oh, these are the tendencies of 4/6s, or getting to know tendencies of your type. So manifestor, manifesting generator, generator, projector, reflector, all those pieces. Um, and you can get to know flavors of it. You can also, as you read in other, I mean, Instagram's a great resource for this, frankly, right? There's a lot of people out there talking about human design. Find the one that resonates, start to read, and shuffle in buckets, right? Oh, this lands for me, this doesn't land for me. This lands for me, that really doesn't land for me. Or something's in the middle, let me get more curious about it, right? Kind of engaging with that self reflective tool. Um, The other things that I think can be helpful to know are if someone wants to go on a deeper level, your open centers are where you are more vulnerable, so to speak, to outside influences. So, getting to know what those centers might be known for. So, let's use spleen as an example of picking up on fear, anxiety, worry, survival instinct kind of stuff. People with an open spleen, self included, very likely to pick up other people's worries. So, when you know what you're likely to pick up, then you get to develop this question of wait, is this mine or is this someone else's? It also lets you know where you're more likely to have conditioning for the exact same rationale, right? That I've picked up other people's stuff and now I'm moving through some set of shoulds or rules that aren't actually mine. So again, that's a deeper level, but I think can be really helpful. I've also heard it be said, excuse me, that our open centers are also where our gifts are, because that's where we actually take in a lot of varied information, right? Versus where we're defined and we have constant energy. Maybe we don't experience a whole lot of variability or change there, or we're so fixed that it's like, I'm not taking in that idea. um, and so it's in our open centers that we can sort of help other people. I imagine there's likely a lot of helpers on this call too. So I just wanted to offer that nugget.
I like how you explained all that, so thank you. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a great tool for self-awareness, but it's not telling you who you are, it's just offering a perspective, right?
Hmm.
And I like how you said how you invited people to figure out what resonates and take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because it's not about somebody else telling you you have to be a certain way because you're
Exactly.
born with this design. It's about you
Right.
exploring. So,
Right.
yeah.
I love the way that like human design language talks about living in your experiment, right? Like honoring we're all making it up. We're all making it up a bit as we go, right? And I think that's what appeals to me so much about human design is that it is this framework that allows so much individuality, right? Like, yeah, I'm a 4/6, but I might look different to the next 4/6, right? How my networks, my relationships, my socializing manifests and brings opportunities to me could be different from somebody else because other mechanics of mine are different and I'm just a different person. And I think,
Right.
um, in contrast, astrology tends to sometimes feel a bit prescriptive. And I think in my personal experience, astrology is really nice to be able to like look back and feel a sense of confirmation. I, in my personal life, don't use it for forward looking, but if you do, then it again it takes on that prescriptive nature, um, almost like a bit deterministic. And I don't know if that's always the most helpful, right? For people, it is. Heck yes, go forth. But I like about human design that there's no prescription. It's just actually be you. Just love, honor, embody you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh, it sounds like you use human design when you're working with your clients as well. Do
Mhm.
you usually get their human design if they know their birth information, and then you
Yeah,
kind of use that to as a tool to help you understand maybe where they're coming from a
exactly.
little more?
Yeah, so when I began to hear some patterns that I'm like, I feel like we could like settle some of these questions, so to speak, right? The friction that's coming up from the not knowing. And obviously, not every client is necessarily open to or receptive to it. I think, um, like any belief system, right? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm interested in this and I want to see the mirror. I want to know what the reflection is. So, usually, if people tell me that they already are spiritually inclined, or if they bring up some adjacent topics, then I will offer, like, hey, this is a tool we can talk about if you want it.
Yeah, it's a fun tool for self-acceptance too. I know when I started exploring my human
Hmm.
design, and learning about these pieces of me that before maybe I kind of shunned or thought were wrong, um,
Hmm.
I was like, oh, that's part of my design. So maybe I can embrace that piece of me instead of making it wrong because I was conditioned a
Absolutely.
certain way.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad you said that. I think all of these any tool, right, astrology adjacent or not, that helps us see ourselves in which we feel seen. I think it comes back to that idea of holding space, right? That they help us be our own container to our own stuff. But yeah, I think that the acceptance piece really resonated there. That things that can help us be like, oh, I'm not abnormal. I'm just me. I'm not weird. I'm just me. Or you can be my daughter and say, thank you. I take weird as a compliment.
Oh my gosh, I said the exact same thing as a kid. People would call me weird all the time, and I would say, "Thank
Thank
you, it's
you.
better than being normal."
Yeah. I'll give her that little add-on for
I'd
next
rather
time.
be weird than normal.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Um,
so true though, right? That's when the
yeah.
magic happens, I think.
I think we're all a little weird, and I think that's what
Mhm.
authenticity is. And when everybody embraces their weird,
Mm,
the
yes,
world will be beautiful. It is.
I
It already
agree.
is. So, as we're wrapping up on time here, wow, that went fast. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Me
Is there
too.
anything else that you want to share before my final question?
Oh, no, I think I'm ready.
All right. So, to tie it all in, the theme of this summit is authentic you. So, what is your definition of authenticity?
Mm.
And how can the work that you do, everything we talked about, the somatic work, the nervous system, the human design, you name it, how does it all tie in to helping somebody be the most authentic version of themselves?
Love it, yeah. The first word that came to mind is being unapologetic about who you are, right? You show up, and whether people are gonna react to it, pleasantly, unpleasantly, or not, you're doing it all the same. The authenticity is that you are showing up as you no matter what. And I think, spoken as a true manifesting generator, authenticity is also embodying the life that lights you up, right? So, like your unapologetic embodiment and enlivenment. Um, the work that I do is designed to support people with this human design talk or not in helping them really just embrace the experience that they're having, not make it wrong, not make it bad, to integrate it, to really say, like, oh, I can better understand this and I can help my brain make sense of the physical experience I'm having too. Right. Getting to know what they really, truly, deeply care about is such a core part of the work too. So that regardless of whatever symptoms you've come to me to help reduce or move out of the way, we got to know where we're going to. Right. So, um, moving towards that meaning, moving towards that purpose is a really key piece of how we actually get to healing.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Anida. Thank you for
Yeah,
being here and sharing your wisdom and insights. It's been an honor.
absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.